Please confirm. Okay, great. So I'm going ahead and sharing the screen to you. Fine. I'm going ahead and sharing the screen. Okay, so I hope you guys can see the screen, right? So let me know, guys, what we have done in last session. What was yesterday's last session number? Okay, so just give me 2 minutes, guys. Okay, fine. So I'm back. So the last session was 4, right? 4th session yesterday. That was yesterday. And before I start this session, so how many of you are new joiners here? Only one? So I guess this could be your first session. I'm talking about first session for the day. Only one. Pujita, fine. So I see, yeah, head count seems to be 2. So this is only for the new people who joined, and this could be your first session. So the class started on last Thursday. Okay, so that was a demo class. So that was the first one. So we did not discuss anything about the class. And on Friday, that was the second class, and we discussed about evaluation of SDLC, guys. And Saturday, so that was the third class. We discussed about waterfall, right? And on Monday, that is yesterday, that was a fourth class. We were discussing about the Agile manifesto. So today is the 5th class, guys. So those who are, I repeat, so those who have missed this classes either Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Monday, so nothing to be worried because the links for these classes will be shared by your admin, and your admin person name is Shubham. So he is going to share the links for you, and the links are given in the classroom, guys. I guess he shared in the chat. So I'll put it on the screen. Our course content is also available here. Got it? So clearly the course content is disclosed at this web link, and the class links for this which you missed. All right, those are new. I recommend you to go through this classes, whatever you missed, guys. Got it? So that's fine. Today we'll continue with our further class. Tuesday we are, and we're going with our 5th class. And please complete your registrations, guys. So tomorrow, I'm guessing they would change the link tomorrow. So please go ahead and complete your payment processing. So that's all from my side. I want to give the update. Now let's move on with our class. Okay. To summarize, yesterday we spoke about the 12 principles. I told you how the Agile Foundations was created in 1996. And thereafter, they came up with some principles to help the industry, which was during the dark times. It was in trouble with some SDLC failures. So as a benefit, they came up with some principles, and these principles are make sense. They given 12 principles, and these principles are followed in Agile, and these 12 principles are also followed in DevOps, and these 12 principles will also make sense, and they will be valid even for next 100 years also, because we saw those principles all make sense. So the person who wants to grow as a team lead, or let's say want to go with good experience in the DevOps, so Agile principles are mandatory for them. If you are a fresher, if you cannot answer anything on the principles, that's fine. But for experienced people and those who want to grow up the ladder, please make sure that you grasp this Agile principles. Good. Now today we'll go ahead with our what you can say the Agile stuff. So start making some points, guys. So Agile Foundations, which was founded in 1996 in US, they first came up with principles only. They did not come up with a framework at all. They gave something called principles. And these principles were advisory in nature. And we call this principle as Agile principles. In short, they are also called as Agile Manifesto. Manifesto. Okay. And thereafter, what happened is this foundation worked on developing some framework, or you can call it as a kind of a model to help the IT industry. So they came up with so far 3 frameworks, guys. 3 frameworks. So the first framework, we can say it as an Agile. And second framework, we can call this as Kanban approach. And third, currently they released recently is SAFe. Correct. So we are not worried about the second one and third one. So we should be bothered about our Agile stuff. And this framework has grown as an SDLC. Now, in the Agile, this Agile framework was released into the market or into the IT industry in 2001. Okay. And this Agile SDLC believes in a strategy called iteration. Iteration strategy. That is what they believe. So Agile believes in a strategy called as iteration strategy. Correct. And they came up with phases now. So this model entirely believes in concept of agility, right? But keep in mind that there are some IT companies which have ignored this agility principle and that had to face some trouble. And coming to the DevOps, this agility becomes the core principle. That means to say that's a mandatory stuff here. And if you talk about the Agile phases here, so these are the phases. So we have something called plan, and we have something called design, and we have something called code, and we have something called test. Okay. And other phases are, I'll put it a star rate, release. So this is a new one. Anything which is new, I'll say this star is release, new one. And then they said deploy or deployment. The maintenance meaning got changed and they call this as deploy or deployment. So alias, I would say this is nothing but your maintenance. The name got updated as deploy or deployment. That is also little change here. I will put it as 2 stars. Okay. Then the last one is your monitoring. Monitoring is also a new phase. Now, if you count them, how many steps are there, guys? You count them, how many steps are there in this process? There are 7, correct? So that is what happened. So technically, logically, if you understand, so waterfall came up with 5 steps model, and your Agile came up with a 7 steps model, and your DevOps is coming with a 9 steps model. So what is happening is over the couple of years, there is an improvement in SDLC processes. We are trying to make it better. You're trying to make it better, guys. So that is what is happening. Now, here, before we jump into the agile phases and understand what happens here, why they brought up new release stuff here, and why they brought up monitoring stuff here, and what difference it makes in planning and design, code and test, right? And what troubles you have. So before jumping into that, we have to understand the strategy here, iteration strategy. So after understanding the iteration strategy only, we'll go into the phases now. Now, from your side, tell me guys, any idea on what is an iteration strategy? What is the meaning here? What is an iteration process, or you can say what is an iteration strategy, or you can say what is an iteration method? Any clue? Any clue, Maunika, Abhinay, and Amma, Amit, Anil? Yeah, some of your answers are correct. I see Gnan has given the answer saying it says means a cyclic process. That is correct. Kirti says it's a looping. That is also correct. Anjana says small chunk code delivery. To some extent, it is fine, right? So let's jump in. So I'll give an example and make you understand how this iteration process comes. So draw these diagrams into your books, guys. So let's say client approaches you. Imagine a client approaches you and you represent the organization. Okay. And imagine this client is from some hotel retail, some hotel restaurants or some business owner, and he wants to have some application developed. And that's the reason he is trying to approach your company. Now, in his mind, he will have a lot of things in the brain about the application he is looking for. So he will come up with a list saying, I want this, right? So now the question comes is, do you think everything is possible by the software company, whatever he is talking? This is the first activity that happens during the consultation itself. See, client may have 100 thoughts in his brain about an application, and that guy is little non-technical. That's the reason he's approaching you. If he's very techy, then he would hire his own team and start doing the stuff, whatever he's looking. But technically, generally the client approaches you and they have something in their brain. Now, my point of question is, do you think whatever client is asking, is it really possible by the company? That is what you guys have to know. How many of you are consultants here? This is the role of a consultant actually. So what is the role of a consultant? So they will talk to the clients and understand their business requirements, and they can try to give clear direction upon what is possible and what is not possible, right? A kind of a guidance. Now, give me the answer, guys. Take your opinions, nothing wrong. So practically what happens is, so he may be coming up with some 100 items, but when you put down to the paper and sit down and have discussion upon these items, definitely it will round figure around 95 items only. So don't think that whatever client is asking, everything is possible. So some things could be in a situation that where it is not possible at all. So that's the reason most of the projects, we can say that the client requirements, whatever they listed, 95% of the things are possible. Now, can I say this as a requirements now? You getting? So requirements are listed out. Correct now? So these requirements, once they have been listed out, now what they do is this will go for discussion to the plan team. And after it's approved and everything, then it goes to the architectural team. Now the question comes is, under the architectural team, how they work. I'm just giving a broad understanding, guys. So in the architectural team, whatever the requirements, let's say that they have to list out, they have to do some 50 items. Imagine a use case. They have to do some 50 items, right? Now, what they will do is they will try to